behind that for you to teach and pursue this as a career?
Confidence comes from the knowledge of the skill.
So from a point of starting workshop with one person, today you have hundreds. So how did it gradually improve?
So gradually I started working and I started learning through my experiences and I started learning through my mistakes.
And any 3 tips for a common woman who wants to pursue it as business?
See, one thing is self-motivation is very important.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಪ್ರಜಾವಾಹಿನಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ನಾನು ಅರ್ಚನಾ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಟೈಲ್ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ರಿಯಲ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಿಳಿದುಕೊಂಡು ಇನ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಷನ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. Today we have a real life story of a woman who has not just overcome her struggles of life but has been a game changer and a path of light with her culinary skills to many more. She considers herself as an educator and believes in imparting life skills through cooking and baking. Yes, she does feel them as important life skills. From being a very normal housewife and suddenly shifting into being a single mother and to not only support oneself but also creating a lot of women entrepreneurs in the process is definitely a long way to go. Hema considers herself a very normal human being with no expertise, but her life is definitely a huge inspiration to take away for any one of us. Namaskara Hema.
Namaskara.
Namma ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ.
Thank you so much.
Your FB page has been doing rounds with numerous workshops, be it cooking, baking, chocolate making. So how do you do all of these?
I mean, it's really amazing. ತುಂಬ ಖುಷಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಇದು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಬೇಸಿಕಲಿ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ದ ಮೋಟಿವೇಶನ್ ಐ ಗೆಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಹೂ ಲವ್ ಮೀ ಸೋ ಮಚ್ ಹೂ ಕಮ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಟು ಮೀ ಫಾರ್ ಮೋರ್ ವರ್ಕ್ಶಾಪ್ಸ್ ಸೊ ಐ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಸ್ಕೆಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ಫ್ಯೂ ವರ್ಕ್ಶಾಪ್ಸ್ 3 to 4 workshops every month. So that's how I mean, again managing is again a time management, right? So it itself is a life skill, so I try to do that.
No, I definitely need to congratulate on putting up so much work. Literally every weekend you have a show.
Yes, thank you so much.
So how did it all start? How did the journey begin?
I mean, this culinary journey began. See, basically, it all started with my passion. So I always loved food, cooking, eating. So it started with eating. It started with eating, and I love food. So basically, it started some 10 to 12 years back. So due to some contingencies in life, I conducted few workshops for kids, summer camps for kids. And then my son was very small, so he was a very timid boy, I mean, he wouldn't go out, talk to people and do anything else. So ಆವಾಗ ನಾನು ಐ ಥಾಟ್ ಆ ಮಗುನ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಎನ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಬರಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡೂ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಐ ಥಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಸಮ್ಮರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಕಿಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ 4 years and above. ಸೊ ಆ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸೆಷನ್ ವಾಸ್ ದೇರ್ ವಿಚ್ ವಾಸ್ ಫೈರ್ಲೆಸ್ ಕುಕಿಂಗ್. ಇನ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಡಿಡ್ ವಾಸ್ ಐ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಚಾಕ್ಲೇಟ್ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ಕಿಡ್ಸ್. And I think that session transformed my life because ಆ ಸೆಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳೇನು ಚಾಕ್ಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಸೋ ಮಚ್ ಫನ್. ಐ ಮೀನ್ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಕೈಯನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ರಾಡಿ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಅದನ್ನು ತಿನ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮುಖ ಎಲ್ಲ ರಾಡಿ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಐ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಸಾ ದಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪಿನೆಸ್ ಇನ್ ದೇರ್ ಐಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಗ್ಲೋ ಆನ್ ದೇರ್ ಫೇಸ್. ಐ ಮೀನ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ ಇಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ಮೈ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಐ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟೆಡ್ that this is happiness. So I thought I should take this forward with an intention of happiness. So that's how it started for me.
Awesome, lovely. But every second person you see already you've been aware of cooking or baking or the skills. So what was the confidence behind that for you to teach and pursue this as a career?
I mean, see, usually what happens, the confidence comes from the knowledge of the skill, usually. So I say I always see that till now I am not an expert as compared to what I see a lot of other people out there. So I call myself as an educator in the sense because I have understood through experience and through lot of feedbacks that the way I communicate, the way I teach exactly falls on the person who is learning it and they get it the way I want it. So I think my skill is more on that. So that's the reason I think my workshops are popular, not because I'm an expert on the skill, just because that I'm able to teach in a way that they understand it.
Oh yes, definitely the communicative skills are great from your end. People are taking away. So when you started it off, did you have a plan to how to go forward, or you just grabbed the opportunities that came your way?
No, I never planned anything and I still don't plan much because I have just been going through the flow, and I have mentioned before also, like I have organically grown. I've organically grown. I just took chocolate forward. I started making chocolates. Then I went into corporate gifting of chocolate. Then I realized people were asking to teach me. I thought of teaching. Then I completely shifted to teaching chocolates, and my students started asking, "No, you teach so very well. Why don't you teach us baking also?" So it just started adding on one by one, one by one. That's how I grew. So there was no plan at all. So I just grew in the demand of the participants.
Wow, that's awesome to know. But you yourself had a huge shift in your life when your child was very young. For any person to understand the situations that's happening around and to have that self-containment and still go ahead with pursuing something. So can you just throw some light about your life journey, which so many people are waiting to derive some experience from?
Okay. They are not pleasant experiences to start with. It all started because I went through a lot of trauma in terms of losing my husband to cancer, and then I had a hardly 1-year-old son when I lost my husband. So the journey was very difficult. It was very, very difficult. But only thing in my mind was I need to do something about it. So that's how it continued, and gradually I started my studies some 5 to 6 years back. Restarted my studies after a gap of say 20 to 22 years, probably 2014, 13, something like that. So I started from scratch, you know. It was like I again joining back to my UKG and LKG, something like that, and today I'm here doing some stuff.
Amazing, amazing. So how was that journey like? You had a young kid at home, no support from your partner because whatever the reason was, and you had to just not only hold yourself, support your child, but also make a career or a living for yourself. So how did that journey go through?
Yeah, it was difficult. It was difficult. Being a single parent is not that easy. But again, I think it all depends on how you perceive. You need to have a bigger picture, not the moment picture. I know this moment I'm struggling, but I also have to have a bigger picture where I want to reach. So my biggest blessing was my family. I come from a joint family. So I have my family back home, which is a support system. And then one important thing what I did was, I didn't treat my child as a child, like a small kid. I treated him as a very companion. So I used to share everything with him. So he's actually a very big support system, you know. He understands. Now he is a 16-year-old teenager, but he is a very big support system. He understands. So journey was quite difficult, but I have sailed through it successfully.
That's wonderful to know. But everybody has their ups and downs in the process. So in that ups and downs, I'm sure you had your family support, you had your child along with you, you're starting to learn something new every second day. But how did you hold yourself? What was that emotional support for you more than anything?
See, one thing is, over a period I learned this very important thing, self-love. That's very important. So I know as women we are very much responsible for others' well-being, taking care of others. But over a period I understood. So I just went through a flashback of my life, and I just thought, I just got married for a very brief time. I had my son, and I in fact went 10 years backward. So I was just thinking, what is the message from the universe that I'm getting here? So I am here for a purpose. I need to do something. That's the message I got from the universe. So I thought, let me focus on what I can do, and I just started getting into other kind of alternative education, landmark education, law of attraction. So I am a very ardent believer of vibration and energy. So I started focusing on that. So when I started focusing on self-love, and I started understanding the importance of it, so it started like, what can I say, it started manifesting in others. So that is one thing which really took me forward.
Because today we hear experiences of very young children or the teenagers trying to commit suicide or trying to go through a lot of trauma, but here you are standing with all those experiences.
So when you bring in this word of committing suicide, I would really like to share one small incident which actually turned around my life. So at one point, after I lost my husband and went through a lot of difficulties, that thought came into my mind too. that definitely came into my mind too. Even I had a thought of committing suicide, and when I thought of doing that, I mean, something happened that moment, you know. I mean, it was just amazing. What happened was I just got a flash in front of my eyes. The picture as a kid, so every kid has a dream, right? Every kid has a dream. When I grow up, I want to be this. When I grow up, I want to be that. So I loved nature. That moment, I got a flash that I wanted to see the peaks of the mountains, the bluest of the skies, the greens of the forest. So that moment, it flashed in front of my mind. I thought, what am I trying to do now is not the life I wanted. So I wanted something else. So that moment was a transformational moment for me, and I stepped back from that thought and I came back home. I took help of my family. I went to a therapist. I myself took few sessions, and then I realized it's normal. What I'm going through is normal. It's not something like I'm going through some disease which is not curable, or I'm a person who is ill, mentally ill or something, because it's just like everybody goes through anxieties and panic attacks. It's very much normal. It's just like cold and cough what you get in season, because in fact I've realized that in fact it's a strength, because you go through so much and you bear so much and you reach a point where, you know, even the elastic tears. So that's the point, I believe. So but from that moment I started working on my life. Then I decided it's very important to have a purpose in life. You need to have a purpose in life. So I took up studies back. I started my workshops organically. I started from home, in fact, from my living room. I started from a living room, and my first student was one student 10 years back. And then now I don't know, like I don't have the count, I don't keep the count. So I don't keep anything formal kind of a thing. I keep everything informal, because life is fun and jovial rather than accountability. That's what I feel. So I don't know, I would have taught some 1,000 people till now.
And that definitely reflects on your Facebook page too. I have seen a number of people commenting, not just thanking you for the workshops, but the lessons you always give in between your sessions. So how do you design them? Like you just make a chocolate workshop or a cookery workshop or a baking workshop, but you always mix life lessons into it. So how do you indulge into this?
That's really a very interesting question, and a very profound and important question too. See, when I started my studies, I also did my life skills training program, certification program. So life skill is all about the 10 life skills which the UNO tells. So I understood that because I learned psychology for a very long time, and I went through lot of things where I practically had to apply what I had learned, and clubbed with my experience, I knew that life is full of life skills. If you need to deal with anything, you need to have a skill for that. Otherwise, we wouldn't have found a lot of IAM aspirants committing suicide. You know, though being academically so very well, just because they get 1 or 2 marks less, I've seen a lot of people committing suicide. That's only because we lack in life skills. As parents, we don't give life skills, and life skill can be any damn thing, you know. I mean, cooking is one beautiful survival skill, and if you learn it, anybody can survive anywhere in the world. So I realized that, and I literally I have incorporated these life skills in my workshops. So my workshops are little bit different as people tell me, only because of the things how I put it. So it's like, imagine, like it's a chocolate skill. Anybody, you would have seen so many people teaching chocolate, so many people learning chocolates. What's the difference in my class? So I teach it in such a way that after the workshop they feel that my intention of love and happiness flows through that. It flows through that. And just imagine a person learns chocolate making. This is a simple homemaker who feels worthless about her life, doing quite well educated,
Today
doing all the things.
definitely much beyond that, Hema.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, when they come to my workshops, I mean, they do this and they go back home and they make chocolates. And when they make chocolates, like, you know, like the family members get alert, they are homemade chocolates, and they eat it and they just love them. And what happens in between all these things? It's not only the happiness they are getting, but their respect towards the person who has done has increased. And in turn, the rapport between them increases, and in turn, the listening between them increases, the love and affection increases, though their interpersonal relations definitely are going to improvise. And when these word of their mom or father, they're making chocolates, it's put across and people come and eat it and they appreciate it, and just think of the person's confidence level and the feeling of worthiness. I mean, this is what I focus on. I mean, chocolate making is a skill. I just teach it, but I teach these things along with that.
And for a homemaker who really wants to pursue something, this would be a great thing to start off with.
Absolutely, absolutely, because my experience tells me, like, as I've taught many people, and let's take a very recent experience what I've gone through. Before Diwali, I did my series of chocolate workshop, my level 1, 2 and 3. I mean, where what happens is, here people, even one workshop, with just basic workshop, I have people who have started their online businesses. I mean, last year there was one person who came just 3 days before Diwali. She did a basic workshop with me, and she was already into online business. She just added it on. I mean, it just flourished, you know, Dasra and Diwali. This is the season. And very recently, I mean, I had students, because I went online, I have students from different parts of the world also now. And there is one lady from Indonesia who is just like minting money. She's just minting money, and I get continuously WhatsApp messages, messenger messages. We have earned so much of money. I mean, we have got back all the money we have invested, and we have earned more, and we are so grateful and thankful. It's so nice to see their Instagram pages, their Facebook pages which they have opened up, and it is such a pleasure, you know. This is what keeps me going and do more and more.
So fulfilling it, right?
Very fulfilling.
So from a point of starting workshop with one person, today you have hundreds. So how did it gradually improve once online came? Of course, it's definitely a huge shift, but how was it before that?
See, even it was my journey, you know. I just started it with a feeling of spreading happiness, and then my confidence was not that great when I initially started, you know. But you need to hang on, and you need to give time to yourself. That's very important. I mean, what people say, what people do is it's absolutely their drama. It's their thing. It's not ours. We need to focus on, it's okay. I mean, I always focused on, it's okay not to be good. It's okay you are feeling not confident. It's okay, because you need to grow. Give yourself, you cannot plant a seed and expect fruits just next day, right? So that's what I did. I mean, that self-love helped me. So I gave myself time. I gradually grew, and people called me as a facilitator, and I also was called to Awake. If you are aware of Awake, Awake is AWAKE. It's an association of women entrepreneurs of Karnataka. I was a skill trainer for a year there. So there, like, every batch used to have 50-60 people offline. We used to work with them. So gradually I started working, and I started learning through my experiences, and I started learning through my mistakes, you know. That's how I grow, because I was open to making mistakes, and you make mistakes only when you want to do something different, right? So that's what I was okay with doing that.
So you being with a non-techie background, how would COVID-19's shift help you go online and make your market bigger, or technically what were your challenges?
Yeah, like I was just sharing with you, like, how bad I am technically. Like, I mean, I'm technically completely illiterate, you know. I mean, I struggle with using my smartphone also sometimes. So I'm okay with that. So what happened was, when I was going through my self journey, I realized that I have lot of weaknesses. One weakness was my technology, not knowing all about technology, you know. I mean, previously I was focusing on that, so I was not focusing on what I was good at. Then later I learned, let me focus on what I'm good at, and let me deal with what I'm not good at. So that helped me. So when I came up with this thought process, that is when I started improvising in what I'm good at. I'm good at teaching, I'm good at delegating. So I focused on that, and that's how I reached. And what actually happened during this COVID time was, for a very long time, I didn't do workshops, offline workshops, because I didn't even think of getting online, because my thought was, I'm not good enough to do that thing. So one fine day, like, I just came across a few workshops, few articles, and I met few people, and then I realized going online is very important at this moment. So I said, if I can't do it, I can ask somebody to do it for me. So in life, we cannot be expert or good in all the things provided out there. I said, fine, let me focus on my training. So I brought in a team. So who is focusing on who handles my Zoom, who handles all the technicality glitches, and somebody is there to shoot my workshops, and we just went online, you know. I mean, I never thought when I started like I'll get like 80, 90 people on my sessions around the world. Like, it's just amazing. So very important is here is we need to break our own belief system and create new belief system.
Oh, and make the best of whatever you were doing and getting the best version out of it possible.
I'm a classic example of that. If you are not good in something, but still you can do a lot of good things in life.
So what message you want to give to homemakers out there, or teens who are sitting at home right now and want to do something for themselves, or somebody who wants to start a bakery or a online cater services, whatever that could be possible, any business? What suggestions you want to give through your experiences?
The only thing is we need to hang on and believe and trust in ourselves. And I believe each and every person, every kid has some smartness, some intelligence in it. We shouldn't be seeing them through filters, you know. Academically they're not good. I mean, they're not good in I get a lot of women and men to my workshops who are doing culinary workshops, but they say we don't enjoy cooking. That's okay. I mean, it's okay for that. So just focus on doing some things. I mean, there is everything for each and every person. Now, because of the changing scenarios, we have a lot of opportunities also. So I think every challenge, the flip side of it is an opportunity.
Wow, yes.
The flip side is an opportunity. So I always tell them, when you get stuck, when you feel that you are not able to do anything, that is the moment we need to have a look within ourselves and say, what is it it's telling me? What is it the universe or myself is telling me? Just go to your inner self and ask yourself, and there definitely is an opportunity. So we just have to look at that and focus on that. I mean, we have lot of child prodigies nowadays, and lot of parents also, like now they want they want their kids to do something. But let's not put that pressure, you know. I mean, few kids might not be good in that. I mean, they might be good in something else. I mean, I have seen, because see, the social media, after we had this WhatsApp and all, so I finished my schooling around about 35 years ago. So we all came together, and I see that who all were bank benchers and who were failing in life are the one who are successful businessmen today. And a lot of people who have got in the ranks are doing fine. But in terms of success, like these people are the ones. And then I realized failures have taught them a lot. I mean, failures have taught them it's okay not to look good. It's okay to take risk. It has taught a lot of these things in life. So it's okay to be however you are. It's okay to make mistake. It's okay to be lazy. Just focus that you are an intelligent and smart person. You can do something in life.
And any 3 tips for a common woman who wants to pursue it as business? Some really want to start very small and become, like maybe the higher goal is to become an entrepreneur, or maybe launch their own products. So what suggestions would you like to give them?
See, one thing is self-motivation is very important. First step is you need to take. So there is a proverb, sir, God will help you only when you help yourself. So that is one thing. First step you need to take, and go with the right people. So take suggestions or advice from the right people. Start from wherever you are. There is no bar of you need to invest this much of money, or you need to know the market and everything. I mean, everything is down out there. Everybody has family, everybody has friends, everybody has contacts. You just need to sit down and make the list of that. So you know that at least 100 people you know in your life. So just start from there. It's okay to start from small, because it's always good to start from small, because that's how the basis of your foundation has to be. That's how you'll grow big. So first thing is hang on there, trust in yourself, and just go beyond your fears.
You have given examples of people joining you from Indonesia, UK and Australia. ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ, ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಜ್ಯದಿಂದನೂ ಜನ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರಾ? ಈ ಸಣ್ಣ ಸಣ್ಣ ಊರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ರೀಚ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಬರೀ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಲೆವೆಲಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಹೇಗಿದೆ ನಮ್ಮದು?
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜ್ ಏನು ಅಂದರೆ, ನಾನು ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಹೋಗಿರೋದಕ್ಕೆ, ಅವರ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡೆಡ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟಿ. ಸೊ ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟಿ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಅಲ್ಲಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಜನ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ತುಂಬ ಖುಷಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಏನು ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಆಗಲಿ, ತಮಿಳ್ನಾಡು ಆಗಲಿ, ಕೇರಳ ಆಗಲಿ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ತುಂಬ ಟೈರ್ 2, ಟೈರ್ 3 ಸಿಟೀಸಿಂದ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ತುಂಬ ಟೈರ್ 2 ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಟೈರ್ 3 ಸಿಟೀಸಿಂದ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಇಷ್ಟು ಖುಷಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಸರ್ತಿ ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳಿಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಬಟ್ ದೇ ಕಮ್ ವಿತ್ ದಟ್ ಇಂಟೆನ್ಷನ್, ಕಲಿಬೇಕು ನಾವು. ಸೊ ತುಂಬ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಊರಿಂದ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ತುಮಕೂರು, ಗೌರಿಬಿದನೂರು, ಮೈಸೂರಿಂದ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಾರ್ದರ್ನ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ, ಹುಬ್ಳಿ, ಧಾರವಾಡ, ಮಳ್ಖೇಡ್, ತುಂಬ 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 ಜಾಗಗಳಿಂದ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ಲೈಕ್ ಸಿ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡನ್ ಇಸ್, ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಐ ಸೆಡ್, ಐ ವೆರಿ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಕಲಿ ಗ್ರೋ ಇನ್ ದ ಡಿಮಾಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ. ನಾನು ತುಂಬ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಈ ಥರ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಊರಿಂದ ಬಂದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಆವಾಗ ಅವ್ರಗಳಿಗೆ ರಾ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ. ಬೇರೆ ಊರುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಟೈರ್ 2 ಸಿಟೀಸಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಟೈರ್ 3 ಆ ಥರ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಊರುಗಳಿಗೆ ಹೋದರೆ, ತಾಲೂಕಾ ಆ ಥರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಸಿಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಹೇಗಾದರೂ ಮಾಡಿ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟಿ ಕೊಡಿ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ, ಐ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಕೇಮ್ ಅಪ್ ವಿತ್ ಅ ಥಾಟ್, ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅನದರ್ ವುಮನ್ who does online business. So I requested her whether can you support them. ಸೊ ಈಗ ಅವ್ರ ನಂಬರ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಅವ್ರು ಸುಮಾರು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು, ಅವರು ಶಿ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಸಮ್ ಲಿಟಲ್ ಬಿಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಅವರ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸಿಂಗ್ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಪ್ರೈಸಿಗೆ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಆ ಪ್ರೈಸಿಂಗ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಕುರಿಯರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್, ಈಗ ಐ ಡೂ ವರ್ಕ್ಶಾಪ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡನ್ ಇನ್ ಬಿಜಾಪುರ್, ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡನ್ ಇನ್ ಬಳ್ಳಾರಿ, ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡನ್ ಇನ್ ಧಾರವಾಡ. ಸೊ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಬಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಸರ್ತಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಐ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಟೆಲ್ ದಟ್ ಡೋಂಟ್ಸ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಸ್ಟಕ್ ಟು ದ ಬ್ರ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಇದೇ ಬ್ರ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಿರಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ದೆನ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಗ್ರೋ. See, my intention is not to just teach them and leave them. What's the point of teaching? ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟಿನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೇನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಈಗ ಒಂದು ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಊರು ಲೈಕ್ ಮಳ್ಖೇಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಊರಿದೆ, ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಹೆಸರು, ಬಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೇನು ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ದ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಸನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಆ ಊರಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಹಂಚ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ಐ ಮೀನ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಆರ್ ಸೋ ಅಮೇಸ್ಡ್ ಅಟ್. So that is what I am looking at.
In your workshops, I've heard that in chocolate making you never give a recipe. So how does it work? You need to teach the recipe, right? How do you just leave it like that?
Yeah, a lot of people think recipes is a one thing. If they have in their hand, they can do anything in life. You know, it's just like life. You know, life comes with no instructions or recipes. We need to create those things. You know, I mean, the fun part of chocolate is you can just play around with chocolate. You can just play around with chocolate, but you cannot be doing that with other things. But in chocolate, you can play around. So there are a lot of people who give recipes, and recipe is one thing. What I've experienced in chocolate making, it restricts you only to that recipe. So if I'm teaching you 10 varieties, I promise to teach you 10 varieties in my basic. And if I give the recipe, then it's like you're learning only those 10 things. You don't go beyond that. But chocolate is something you can just play around and take it beyond. So what I do is, see what happens. Now imagine if I give you the recipe, what are you going to do? You'll just see that and you'll follow the instructions, you do it. And now I'm not giving the recipe when you know that, and just imagine the attention span and the alertness you have in the workshop. You are just fully focusing on what I'm telling, right? And I'm talking and I'm also doing the demonstration. You are observing. I mean, you are so aware and you're also observing, and that's the best method of learning. That's the best method of learning. And what are you doing? After that, you're making your own notes. So what is actually, you're seeing, you're observing, you're retaining, and then you're recalling. So this whole process imbibes that knowledge skill in your mind. I mean, that's wonderful. So that's the reason people who have done workshop with me, especially in chocolates, though I teach 10 varieties, or though I teach few things in my level 2 and level 3 where we have very handcrafted chocolates, I mean, I just make them so fertile with their creativity, so fertile with the way they can think about making different things other than the things what we have done. It just amazes me seeing these women coming back and giving me new recipes, what they have experimented and they have done. It's just so beautiful, and all that is because I am not spoon feeding them. I am not spoon feeding them. And one technique is not giving them the recipe at the beginning of the workshop at least. So I just don't give the recipe. And I have a student who stays in Australia who has learned probably 11-12 years back with me. She messages me whenever she does chocolate. See, I don't have the recipe, but every time I do the chocolate, I mean, I can hear your instructions clearly in my mind. I mean, a lot of people say that.
So you make them think, their creativity just oozes out and they start making new chocolates every day. With this no recipe technique, do you think people who are trying to pursue something in their life, will they be having any base, or will they start with their own experiences and make something out of it?
See, one thing is, as a trainer, I'm always there to give them support. It's not that I teach them and just leave them off. So, I mean, they always come back to me. They always come back to me. Most of the time they come back to me. So always I'm all the time on phone most of the time. One of the complaint at home is that you're all the time. See, now I mean, the Spider-Man always says with power comes responsibility. So we need to understand our responsibility. So most of the time I'm messaging them back their doubts. I'm always there. So they somewhere they have this feeling that they can fall back on me. They can fall back on me.
Actually don't spoon feed with the recipes, but I've heard you spoon feed with their marketing, with their entrepreneurial skills, including the boxes they pack. Like you are holding them in leading them. So what makes you support them so much?
And the thing is, one advantage of you having lot of contacts is that you have different kinds of people coming with different kinds of specialities. I understood it. See, conducting workshops, I mean, earning your life and money is one part. But what are you giving back to the society? At the end of the day, when I sleep, I need to be feeling contented and peaceful. I mean, this gives me peace. When I see somebody else grows really well, that really gives me peace. Especially, I have a lot of students who do a lot better than me. Lot better than me. I mean, I feel so happy about it. So when I have this, now I have a bunch of people doing chocolates, and I have someone who I know who are making chocolate boxes also. And I know someone who wants chocolates also. So what I try to do is I just try to connect them, you know, I just try to connect them so that it's like a win-win situation for each and every person. I mean, I don't think the economy or the earth will evolve just by one person growing, you know. I mean, I think we all need to grow together.
It's truly gratifying to see people around you grow and you being a channel for their support too. So what you have to say about your experiences that's leading other people to achieve their goals?
Yeah, like I have learned through life, it was not easy. It's okay to go through what you have gone through. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to not have some skill sets. I mean, it's okay to be your own self, authentic self, you know. I just don't try to pretend what I am not. So I think that's one of the biggest advantage when you are in your own skin. When you are not looking for somebody else's like shabashi and all. I mean, when your own skill, you can do it. I mean, probably the journey might be little slow, but when you grow, you are in your own power. That's what I feel.
That acceptance is the biggest part,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Acceptance baralala.
Exactly. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರನೇ acceptance ಮೇಲೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು.
ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇದ್ರೂ acceptance ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿ ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗೋದು ಈಜಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಹೌದು. Expectation is one thing, self expectations and what others expect of you. That is a killer, I tell you.
To do something according to somebody else's expectation.
Exactly. So after doing all these things, I don't have any expectation from myself, you know. I mean, just because I don't have any expectation from myself, I don't go through that another added stress. So because I'm not going through that another added stress, I'm having fun along the way. So I just focus on having fun. When I teach, I don't teach it as a work, you know. I mean, I get involved in that. I'm so passionate about it. So that's what you need to do.
That's a great way. Takeaway for anyone. See that work as something which is full of passion and teach and derive lessons at the same time so that you grow together.
Yeah, exactly.
You're doing some amazing work, Hema, not just for yourself, but people around you and hundreds of people who are coming and reaching out to you. So where do you see yourself looking forward?
I mean, when I thought of doing it, I had never seen myself to be here. So right now I'm not seeing anywhere about myself also, but I know that wherever I am, I'm in a very good space. I want to reach more and more people. I mean, I know that the gap is like there are a lot of people who want to learn, and here I am who want to teach to a lot of people. So I just need to bridge the gap. So I need to work on how to bridge the gap and reach a lot of people. See, now I get calls from a lot of people from UK and US, so the timing don't work. So there are a lot of people who want to learn from there. A lot of Indian things they want to learn. A lot of Indians, I think Indians are the most people who have settled abroad. The population of Indians is more, so they always want to learn. So I need to work on these things and reach more and more people.
Thank you very much, Hema. Listening to real life stories is definitely much more inspiring any day, and the impact it causes around inspiring many amazing souls to pursue the culinary art or whatever goal or dream they would want to pursue. Hoping this interaction definitely helped a lot of you, and wishing a lot of you would reach out to Hema for the further workshops she is going to conduct online. You can definitely contact her on her Facebook page. ನಮಗಿಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಕೊಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ತುಂಬ ತುಂಬ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್ ಅರ್ಚನಾ. ಇವತ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಕರೆದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನನ್ನ ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪಿಂಗ್ ಮೀ ರೀಚ್ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹೋಪ್ ಮೈ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಜರ್ನಿ ಈಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಇನ್ಸ್ಪೈರ್ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೀಪಲ್. ಓನ್ಲಿ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್. Life is not the end. So we'll just, whatever we live, let's live happily and have fun. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. You are definitely worth inspiring and motivating a lot of people. I'm glad I could share some part of your story to the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much.